On this week's Counting Duggars, we break down why the judge dismissed several motions presented by Josh Duggar's legal team ahead of his subsequent trial. Plus, this week's Duggar social post of the week is pretty heartbreaking. What's up, guys? I'm your host, Nicholas Gonzalez, with this week's Counting Duggars, the show in which we talk about your favorite reality TV family, the Duggars. Now, before we begin today's video, I need you to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below for all the latest on your favorite celebs. But okay, to the news. Recall, Josh Duggar and his legal team filed motions to suppress certain statements and photos from being used in trial, and much more. Well, on October 13, Judge Timothy L. Brooks filed a memo that further explained the court's reasons for denying the motions filed by Josh's team. For one of the dismissals mentioned in the memo, Judge Brooks mentioned the federal agents who appeared at Josh's car business on November 2019 did mention to him he was free to leave if he wished. Apparently, the agents interviewed Josh in a vehicle, but the door next to him was unlocked and he was able to exit at any time. Judge Brooks also describes the agents' interactions with Josh as conversational and not heated. In the memo, the judge went on to say, quote, "Not only did Mr. Duggar sign a form demonstrating he understood he was waiving his right to counsel, but he also manifested a clear understanding of the waiver and the voluntariness of his actions by reminding the agents before questioning began that he may not answer everything." Now, what's interesting in this part of the judge's memo is that he also mentions that there was a point where Josh could have been deceived by something the agents have said, but that he ultimately did not fall for it. So it was never brought up again. Now, to another dismissed motion. Recall, Duggar's legal team tried to block photos of his hands and feet that were taken in custody from being used on trial, but apparently the judge is saying there's no reason to do that. Josh's legal team claimed these photographs were taken without a warrant. In the judge's response, he says that Josh did consent to having photos of his hands being taken and that his feet happened to be in the shot. Now, the judge also responded to a third motion in which it is claimed that federal agents were not responding on behalf of an appropriate acting secretary. The judge slammed this by saying, quote, "No legal support for Mr. Duggar's claim that an indictment handed down by a properly impaneled grand jury would be subject to dismissal due to an alleged appointments clause violation." And now to Josh's final dismissed motion, in which his team has argued that his electronic devices were sought out for and not others. The judge has an interesting response to this, saying, quote, "Valid reasons may exist to criticize law enforcement's thoroughness or lack thereof on cross-examination, but the court is simply not persuaded that law enforcement's actions rise to the level of constitutional deprivation of due process that would require the dismissal of an indictment against Mr. Duggar." Now, what the judge is basically saying with this is that it could be brought up on trial, but it is not enough to dismiss it. But alright, that's enough Josh Duggar news right now. Let's go to our next big story of the week, which also happens to be our Duggar social post of the week. On October 11th, Dillard Duggar revealed some heartbreaking news as she revealed she was pregnant, but then days later suffered a miscarriage. Now, several family members reacted to the news on social media. Amy King wrote, "Love you so much, your sweet family, River would have been beautiful, wrapping you up in prayers." Jinger wrote, "Jill, my heart aches for you all, love you so much, and praying for you, sis." Jessa responded to the news saying, quote, "I love you so much, my heart breaks for you." Now, Jill and Derick revealed more on their website and explained why they named their baby River Bliss Dillard. The river part of the name was inspired by the rivers in Arkansas and how it connects with the Bible, saying, quote, "Our baby doesn't get to live here with us on earth, but is forever with the source of the river of life in the presence of the Lord." When it comes to the middle name Bliss, this was chosen because they see their baby living in perfect bliss with the Lord. But alright, that's it for today's video. You know what to do. Hit the sub, like, and bell button down below for all the latest on your favorite celebs and, of course, the Duggars. Bye, guys.